If you've ever stood at a sink, you might have noticed a tiny hole near the top and wondered what it's for. It's small, easy to overlook, and at first glance it might even seem decorative. But that little hole actually has a very practical purpose. For a long time, most people didn't think much about it, assuming it was just part of the sink's design. But as it turns out, that tiny feature plays a clever role in preventing spills and protecting your home from unexpected water accidents. Today, we're going to explore the story behind this often overlooked part of everyday life, right here on History of Simple Things. The concept of the sink overflow is older than you might think. Early sinks, dating back to the late 19th and early 20th centuries, were simple basins without any protective features. People would often accidentally leave the tap running, and without an emergency exit for the water, flooding was common. As indoor plumbing became more widespread, inventors began looking for ways to prevent water damage and potential accidents. By the 1920s, sink manufacturers started integrating a small secondary channel near the top of the basin. This hole acted as a safety feature, allowing excess water to escape before it spilled over the edge. It was a simple yet effective innovation, combining basic physics with practical design. Over the decades, this tiny hole became a standard in sinks worldwide, though some modern minimalist designs have eliminated it, relying instead on careful water control or electronic sensors. So, what exactly happens when water reaches that small hole? The mechanics are surprisingly clever. The overflow hole connects to a separate channel inside the sink, which leads down to the drain. Think of it as a backup route for the water. If the sink starts to fill beyond a safe level, the water will flow into the hole instead of spilling onto your countertop. This channel doesn't interfere with normal drainage because it only comes into play when the water level gets dangerously high. In a way, it's like a silent guardian, always ready to prevent minor accidents from turning into major messes. Without it, even a momentary lapse, like forgetting to turn off the tap, could result in water spilling across your bathroom floor, soaking cabinets, or damaging floors. Beyond preventing flooding, the overflow hole also helps keep your sink cleaner. When water flows through the overflow channel, it improves air circulation inside the drain, which can reduce the buildup of stagnant water and slow down bacteria growth. That said, it's not completely maintenance-free. Over time, dirt, toothpaste, soap scum, and even tiny hair strands can accumulate inside the channel. Regular cleaning is essential to prevent unpleasant odors and ensure the overflow functions properly. A small brush or a pipe cleaner is usually enough to keep it clear. If you've ever noticed, some sinks have very discreet overflow holes, while others are more obvious. Designers have to balance aesthetics with function. For instance, modern vessel sinks, those that sit on top of the countertop, often avoid visible overflow holes to maintain a sleek look. In these cases, the manufacturers might rely on other safety measures like electronic sensors or carefully calibrated drain designs. Traditional sinks, especially those in older homes, usually have a clearly visible small hole. This isn't just for style, it's a reminder that the overflow is working silently in the background. Interestingly, some designers also experiment with shape and placement to improve water flow efficiency. Even small tweaks in the channel's curvature can help the sink handle more water in emergencies. Many people think the overflow hole is purely decorative, or they assume it's there to drain water faster. While it does allow some extra drainage, its main purpose is safety, not efficiency. Another misconception is that the overflow makes a sink self-cleaning. While it can reduce standing water, it's not a substitute for regular cleaning. If neglected, it can harbor bacteria or soap buildup, defeating its hygiene benefits. Another fun fact, in some European sinks, the overflow hole is smaller or even absent in very high-end designs. These sinks often have additional engineering solutions built into the drain system, but for most homes, that little hole is the most reliable safety feature you'll find. While small, the overflow hole can actually influence how your sink drains and even how your plumbing system performs. Because it creates an extra channel inside the sink, water can sometimes flow backward into this channel if your drain system isn't vented properly, which can harbor bacteria or unpleasant odors over time. Plumbers often emphasize the importance of keeping the overflow channel clean and unobstructed, not just for spills, but to maintain proper airflow and drainage. In some high-use sinks, like in restaurants or hotels, a neglected overflow can even reduce drainage efficiency or lead to subtle, slow drain issues. So that tiny hole is more than a safety feature. It's an essential part of the sink's plumbing ecosystem that keeps water moving smoothly and your home healthier. So next time you glance at your sink, don't overlook that tiny hole near the top. It's one of those small design details that quietly protects your home, your floors, and even your sanity. From preventing accidental floods to helping maintain cleaner drains, it's a reminder that good design doesn't have to be flashy. It just has to work. Even though it's small and often ignored, the overflow hole has a rich history and an essential function. It's one of those unsung heroes of daily life, doing its job silently while you go about your routine. And now that you know its story, maybe you'll give it a little more appreciation the next time you wash your hands. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.